So funny enough, when I went back in for our version of Shot in the Dark, because I re-recorded the track for the music video, and man, I was so nervous. I'm like, oh, Jake's he's gonna hear this. I was really nervous, and like, now it's fine. Just message him like, hey, listen to this. But yeah, it's just the music's always been there. I think even back when I was living in LA, all those ultimate jam nights at the Whiskey, it was always a Sabbath tune or an Ozzy tune. So just, I mean, talk about having the best players around to support you. Like he just had that ear, and I mean, with Sharon, they just found the best. I mean, I don't even know how to continue on. But I mean, I thought with each guitar player, it's just a complete different sound.
The David Ellefson Show. Featuring Grammy Award winner David Ellefson and respected metal journalist Joshua Toomey. Presented by EllefsonEmporium.com. Here's David and Joshua.
Burning Witches today with us. And, it's funny, the two of us know each other. Courtney, you and I go way back to when I was, like, really when you're kind of just getting on the scene when I worked at PV doing artist relations.
We first met Music Player Live in New York.
Is that what it was? And that was that in New York City? You were there with School of Rock, right? Yeah. Yeah, I remember you guys. This was this one time where Bass Player Magazine and Guitar Player Magazine did a thing together. It was Les Paul's 90th birthday, and I remember my boss Hartley Peavy gave the sort of introductory speech. So it was like just sitting back listening to these icons talk about all the shit they invented. Like multi-track recording and flangers, and obviously the Les Paul guitar, and so. But yeah, I remember in the hotel, what was the School of Rock's guy name? What was that guy's name?
Paul Green.
Paul Green, yeah. So I remember going around a corner and he had all you guys set up in there, and I asked him, I said, are you going to put this in the schools? He goes, no way. School's the worst place to learn music. You have to learn music you hate on instruments you don't want to play. And I was kind of like, this guy's he's pretty fucking punchy, and he must be a guitar player, this guy, right? So, but I thought, he's kind of right. I had to learn tenor sax, playing orchestra music I hated, marching band. It wasn't until I finally got kind of grandfathered into jazz band in the middle school, only because the bass player quit. So I got two of his gigs. I got to play in his cover band and I got to play in jazz band. You know what I mean? So I guess he's right.
Yeah, the only thing I ever learned to play is a wooden flute. So yeah.
So I think the American school system kind of just brought over to America everything from Europe and England, right? It just brought like, we're gonna play classical music, like we're gonna do orchestra music, and it's like, why are we playing this shit?
Clarinet in school, so.
All right. So and I was a sax player, so we're basically a woodwind section here, so we're good to go.
Well, it's like I wanted to be the drummer in the band, and they're like, well, you can't play the snare, but we'll let you play the xylophone. And I was like, I'm not playing the xylophone. Like, I want to play the snare,
Yeah, the xylophone's not metal at all. So what did you play, Josh, in orchestra band? Did you play drums? Were you in the drum section, or what'd you do?
No, I grew up, I was always like, if I can't do what I want to do, I don't want to do it kind of deal. Like, when I tried out for the football team, they didn't have enough helmets. So they said I had to share a helmet. And I was like, I want my own helmet or I'm not playing. And then I go to band and they say, I want to play the snare. And they say, well, you can't play the snare. You can play the xylophone. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing that. So yeah, I kind of, it was kind of a turd as a kid, I guess. So
you were too metal for everything. Yeah, you're too punk rock. For everything.
I think I ended up being in chorus, and I think I sang like, tenor, soprano, or something with my high pitched voice.
Tenor and soprano. That's a pretty big difference.
It was middle school. It's been a long time. I was listening to a lot of Megadeth back then. I'm sorry.
Hey, don't blame it on me. So, well, good. Well, hey, so you ladies, I should say, have a new album out, or coming out, Inquisition, coming up here in August. And you guys are both over, Laura, you're in the Netherlands, I guess. Courtney, you're in Germany. So, So the band's based, according to your press release, based in Switzerland, but I guess everybody kind of lives all over, like many of us do in our bands, right? So, I guess first, tell us a little bit about the new album that's coming out. What's and the singles and stuff. There's a cool single, "High Priestess of the Night," is out, so there's stuff out there for people to see. So, give us the scoop.
I'll let you take that one.
Oh, all right. Yeah. So the new single, the High Priestess of the Night. Yeah, we finally had a. Actually, it's funny because I saw a comment that we finally had a warehouse video clip, and and it's funny because I think it is the standout, as in it stands out between all the other video clips we have because it's a bit more bright and unusual for us, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the weird one on the album. It's the happy single. The rest is a bit more dark. So the whole album is actually pretty dark in general. Yeah, because Inquisition, if you know what it is, people were back in history were pointing at each other for being bad people, and if they didn't point at each other, there was this group from the church called the Inquisition that would say, "Yeah, but then you must be really bad, so because you don't want to rat out the other bad people, so we're going to, you will definitely die, right?" So, so
Wow.
yeah, the theme of the album. Yeah. Anyway.
With the High Priestess video, you said you obviously the warehouse video and a lot going on in that video. Was that a lot of fun to shoot that video? You guys enjoy the process of shooting videos?
Yeah, and that was a busy one because we were just coming off the road, and we actually did the video for Inquisition along with it. So we were exhausted. And I remember the fun part about doing the first one we did was Inquisition, and then we were all ready to go, and then the location lost power.
Right.
We're sitting there ready to go, full, stage makeup, ready to, knock this out. And I don't think they got a generator till like, what, Laura, 9 p.m. And then we were shooting till like 2 a.m. It was insane.
Hurry up and wait, as we always say, right? When it comes to shoot, it makes you realize, being an actor, right? If that's your full-time job, like the hurry up and wait they must do if you're Bradley Cooper or whoever, Lady Gaga in films and stuff. It's like, if it's like this for just shooting a music video, the amount of the amount of people and everything that it takes. I saw you guys, you were on Monsters of Rock Cruise, like I think 2 years ago. We were all on there together, or a year and a half ago, whatever it was. And then you guys did a tour across the UK with KK's Priest. Right. So you guys you've done a lot of stuff, right? Leading up into this new record and everything. So, what's the process like, just building the band for you guys, especially being, a European band and everything that goes with that.
Guess I'll start with this one. We just love touring. We love being on the road. We love partying with everyone. So it just doesn't get old for us, as I'm sure it could be really, really exhausting being out so long, but we just enjoy every minute of it. Knock on wood.
Well, how about for you, Courtney? Because look, like me, you're American, right? And then, I had my band Dieth and spent a lot of time in Poland and, doing festivals across, Europe and stuff. And I loved it. I thought it was great. For most of my career, I've been playing with American musicians in America, et cetera. So for you, to relocate and really dig in, to a European lifestyle of a European metal band, it's different for us Americans, right? We kind of hear about Europe, we're influenced by European music, but to actually be there and be a part of it, just talk about that whole lifestyle shift.
For me, even like the first time I ever toured Europe, I completely, instantly fell in love with it, just because coming from America, going to shows, and our metalheads, it's more of this impress me. People are jaded and fake, but coming out here, I mean, even if you just saw like footage from Wacken that just ended, rain or shine, mud, fans are out. They're just excited to see anyone. It doesn't have to be a top tier band. It could be someone who's just starting out, and the crowd is just the same. Like metal out here, like the religion of it and the passion is just, sometimes I'm like, come on, America, we can be like.
It's the gathering of the tribe, isn't it? I mean, Josh, did you come over here before, or here over here?
I've
Now,
not been there
I
yet,
was
no.
just in Europe. I'm in America. I don't know where the hell I'm at. So wherever we may roam, right? So have you been over to Europe with
Not
in your
yet,
career?
no.
Okay, yeah. So, well, it's funny because you play new metal now. Everywhere, new metal's the thing, right?
Right.
Disturbed, Korn, Godsmack. It's like all that stuff from the '90s is now cycled around enough that that's the new generation, right? I don't know. What do you think, Laura? I mean, you grew up there. What's from your
Yeah.
perspective?
I mean, there's of course this newer metal around, newer than new metal anyway. So the name is
The
a bit
new metal.
newer new metal. Yeah. So the name is a bit awkward almost. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know actually what it's called, but it's electronic beats with like what's this? And even that is already not that new anymore. But isn't it Eskimo Callboy, for example? Isn't that the
Right.
name? Because they changed
Electric. Yeah, they
I love
changed it
them
to Electric
too.
Callboy.
They're so
electric.
fun.
That's it. Yeah. So something like that. But then there's indeed newer stuff around. Yeah. So yeah. It depends on the festival, and I also saw some festivals, and they really split up the stages a bit with the older metal and the newer metal. But that's actually a festival I saw in America. I forgot the name. Which one was it?
Is that the one in
Yeah,
Wisconsin?
not M3 anyway. We did, I think, 2 festivals now. It was the other one, but yeah, I have to look it up.
Something, yeah.
Well, it's funny in America. So Danny Wimmer, God bless him, created the festival concept, and in the different states, I know they've all been renamed over the years, but it's the same mindset because, I remember, let's take Ozfest, for instance, right? That was kind of one of the first big metal touring packages where, in America, because there's the amphitheaters, the infrastructure, you can take a tour, take a show, and you can tour it, right? It doesn't have to just be sort of Ozfest, New Jersey, then it's over, right? Then you got to go to Ozfest, Texas. It's like you can
Right.
tour that around the world, right, or around the country, right? Whereas in Europe, things are more, God's Metal in Italy. There's Wacken, which represents Germany. I mean, then there's Summer Breeze and Rock Hard. There's a lot of them in Germany, and then same with the UK. Everything from Bloodstock to Download or Glastonbury. There's all these things, but they're all sort of lifestyle, of course, but they're more kind of indicative to the culture of that region, right? So,
I think so, yeah.
right. So I mean, and Laura, in the Netherlands, I mean, there's a ton of them. I mean, Dynamo is always the classic one. There's a lot of great metal. Is kind of like it's almost like if you can't get booked in the Netherlands, you're not really a metal band, right? So I mean, are there favorites that you guys have done so far that you played at?
Ooh, yeah, for me it's definitely Wacken, because it's it's one of these festivals that I would go to with friends anyway. So that was on my list of things that I really wanted to do. And then the first time I played there on my birthday, so perfect.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Wow. Yeah, happy birthday.
I think Courtney could even agree with this, but talking about the growing up, seeing the European festivals and wishing America had something like that. And then now with Danny Wimmer putting on Rockville and Louder Than Life and Aftershock and all those festivals, it's close to kind of what we would grow up seeing those lineups overseas for Download. And you're like, God, I wish I could see something like that. And then finally now, we've got the festivals here that are similar, getting there, but even the European festivals, I think, are a little bit more diverse too. You might get, Metallica and Tori Amos or something like that. Where the Danny Wimmer festivals, you might not get that, which that would be an awesome show. Don't get me wrong.
And with the amount of stages, some of these festivals, I have to Wacken, I think is 9-10 stages. It's like you can just do anything all day. And then for me, we recently, for the first time, just played Hellfest too in France. That was insane. So I played Wacken and Hellfest. It was just, it was hot as hell, but it was a great experience.
Yeah. But they build like a city, right? They take a city like Wacken. Probably the closest thing here in America would be Sturgis, right? Where you take a town and then you just build this whole whole festival thing around it, right? And the people in the town, they enjoy it, right? They're part of it, rather than them complaining like, neighbors, get off my lawn, you damn metalheads. It's everybody welcomes it. It's a cool. I mean, even at Vakken, even the cows are in on the action. When you pick up their credentials, it's like the most metal cows on the planet. But it's and like you say, Hellfest is the same thing, right? It's like this little kind of village out in the middle of nowhere in France, and yet it's this roaring metal festival that is so freaking balls to the wall. I mean, I remember standing on stage one time and watching somebody. Remember, they had like that zip line going across the crowd, and I was so entertained by that. I was just like, it's like, good thing I know the songs so I can be entertained by everybody. Entertained by the audience.
Who's gonna puke? Who's gonna puke on the crowd?
Right. And another one that got really big recently too is Copenhagen. I remember playing kind of like maybe the first year of that, and now that thing is full on. I mean, it's so some of these things, even Grass Pop, is really. When I was there a couple years ago with Dieth, we played there, and they had all those posters along the wall of whoever played there over the years. And I saw Megadeth. We played the very first Grass Pop. I was like, wow, who knew? So it's like 1997 or something, a long time ago. So, but it's I was just really enjoying reading, and like I said, now with in America, well, new metal, right, and the NU dash metal, how that movement has just really just made such an impact there. So, Josh, there's hope for you. You can probably be getting over to Europe.
Be there next year. Yeah,
I'll be here and you'll be there.
Right. Yeah, I'll be in Germany for the entire year, and you can stay home.
Yeah, and I'll be in America. So, hey, everybody, David and Josh here, and just want to let you know about Rockabilia, our new partners here on the show, and you can visit them and enter David10 for 10% off on any of your purchases. So some cool stuff they have there, Josh.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome company. I mean, if you're of my generation of the, we go to the magazine aisle, and, when it was a print magazine, and, Rockabilia was in every Metal Edge and Metal Maniacs and whatever else, and you would circle every Megadeth t-shirt you wanted, or Metallica or Slayer or whatnot. So super pumped to have Rockabilia on with the David Ellefson show. And, just a few things. They've got over 500,000 items over at rockabilia.com, including staples like the Master of Puppets shirts, Rest in Peace shirts. They do limited edition exclusive drops each month. And the one thing that they wanted to stress was everything is 100% authentic. No bootlegs over there at rockabilia.com. So that's obviously a plus there too.
Cool. So the money goes where it's supposed to go. So, all right. Excellent. All right. So check it out. Rockabilia, David 10 for 10% off. Check it out, rockabilia.com. Hey, so Laura, another thing too is you were very kind and very cool to sing on a record that me and Jeff Scott Soto did, the new Ellefson-Soto record, coming out just a week ahead of yours. Ours is coming out on Friday the 15th. And yours,
Awesome.
Your record is coming out the following week on the 22nd. So you sang a duet with Jeff on a song called Poison Tears.
Mhm.
And I don't even think you've probably heard the final mix of it, but it sounds amazing. It's
Great.
simply fantastic. So I
I'm
can't
super
wait for
curious. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Good.
it's fantastic. You did such a great job on it. So I
Thanks.
guess, without being biased, like talk about recording the track. Just getting involved in that.
Yeah, and it was cool, because I think I got all the tracks that Jeff recorded, and there were
Mhm.
some voice recordings, and I was actually surprised because I listened to some of those separate tracks, and I was like, is this just a copy? Because if he sings it, it's actually almost exactly the same. And I was just really surprised because if I do two takes, it won't be exactly like so close to each other. I was actually
Right.
surprised. I think that was the thing that I really remembered. I was like, okay, wow, yeah, no, they are different. So I zoomed in on the track. They are different, but they really are close, Yeah, that was
Yeah,
cool. It was great. I love
are
his
these
voice.
guys calling it a double, and all they did is just cut and pasted the same track?
Yeah,
Well, it's funny.
I was wondering, like, what is this? But yeah, so that
I've
was
asked about
good.
that over the years too. It's like, can't we just cut and paste this and make it a double? And it's like, no, like it'll just sound the same. You know what I mean? It really there is a mechanical difference of when you double something. And
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, you did. I remember one of the things you said. It was kind of low in range, and I guess I didn't even
Yeah.
think about that. I think the track you know, fuck, nobody tunes to standard tuning anymore, right? So everything's in E flat or a drop D or a something. So I think this track is in D, if I memory serves correct. So
Okay.
I didn't even think about that for your voice, you know. And you mentioned, go, yeah, it's kind of low, and you know, just give me a minute to just kind of, you know, sort of get into that. So I don't know, maybe you had even recorded in a couple of different moments, right? There's sort of the verse is a little lower, and then of course the choruses are nice and angelic and super
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, yeah. You know that. I was just hoping, you know, checking if I could indeed get the energy in, because sometimes the chorus needs a bit more energy, and then if it's low, it's difficult if your voice is doesn't have to kind of push for the higher notes. You know what I mean? So this is but I think it in the end. Yeah, I'm still really curious, but I think it was okay in the end. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you'll definitely love it. I love it. I listen to it. It reminds me of something kind of mid '90s Megadeth era, like something I would have written maybe on our Euthanasia record. That's kind of the vein that it sits in. So it's got a nice, it's a lot of weight to it. So honestly, your voice, to me, and again, it adds this nice angelic soaring top to it, you know, that I love. And it's fun to write a lyric that tells a story that a man and a woman can sing, right? Because you're sort of you're able to sort of, you know, juxtapose the storyline, right? And
Yeah.
so yeah, so you did a great job on it. I can't wait for you to hear it, and it's really, thank you for that. It was really great to
Yeah. Thank you too. I love duets, you
yeah,
know, so it was
yeah,
cool.
Nice.
yeah.
Well, Laura, you know, getting ready for the interview, I was kind of going back through some Burning Witches stuff, and obviously the Shot in the Dark cover pops up, you know, and obviously now that has a little bit of a different meaning for everybody. And kind of going back to it. So kind of going back to it for you, you know, kind of getting into Ozzy's vocal and kind of, you know, doing your interpretation of it on the song and things like that. Talk a little bit about, you know, just obviously that cover and obviously the different meaning it has now that Ozzy's passed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, different meaning as in, you know, now all of a sudden that, yeah, of course, people directly have to think of, that he's not here anymore, indeed. But I think what doesn't change, you know, is he is still, you know, a big inspiration, I think, for a lot of people. And the Prince of Darkness, right? I actually saw him first on MTV, probably because I'm from a different generation. The first time I heard about Ozzy was actually because he did this reality show. So for me, I just love to watch that. Yeah, it was very cool. And this is how I first heard of him. And Shot in the Dark is just a cool song. And I could never sing the way he sang. You know, I just, of course, you try to get the feeling of the song across, but I think he's especially an inspiration in that he's just a guy with a cool persona, a cool charisma, and yeah.
You know, you said something in there about, you know, no one can sing like him, and that's one thing on the Back to the Beginning concert that I noticed about a lot of the bands was they would play their two original songs and they would sound fine, but then when they would go to do the Ozzy or the Black Sabbath song, you could tell like singing Ozzy's vocal range is hard for a lot of those guys, and all day it kind of showed up where it was tough for those dudes to kind of hit those notes, you know, or sing in that tone. That's one thing I noticed from that concert.
Yeah, for sure.
Courtney, what's your Ozzy moment or Black Sabbath moment as a guitar player?
Oh, jeez.
Were you like a Randy Rhoads fan growing up?
I love them all, but for me, it was Jakey Lee.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, for me, it was Jakey Lee, and through like Monsters Rock Cruise, I actually became really good friends with him. So funny enough, when I went back in for our version of Shot in the Dark, because I re-recorded the track for the music video, and man, I was so nervous. I'm like, oh, Jake's he's gonna hear this. I was really nervous, and like now it's fine to message him like, hey, listen to this. But it's just the music's always been there. I think even back when I was living in LA, all those ultimate jam nights at the Whiskey, it was always a Sabbath tune or an Ozzy tune. So just, I mean, talk about having the best players around to surround you. Like he just had that ear, and I mean, with Sharon, they just found the best. I mean, I don't even know how to continue
Right.
on. But I mean, I thought with each guitar player, it's just a complete different sound.
Were you a
So,
fan of Brad Gillis? Like when
yes.
he, yeah, right. I mean,
I think he was a little more the trickster compared to the other ones, because obviously what he does in Night Ranger with the whammy bar and all the
sure.
theatrics and stuff. But you know, it was still great. But yeah, he stepped in obviously after Randy passed, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't have a bad thing to say about any era of the guitar players.
You know, it's interesting. I listened to Sabbath. In fact, I even listened to some of this Ellefson-Soto stuff. You know, modern production got to a point where there's, you know, every 4 bars something changes. There's kind of something new, even if it's just a piece of ear candy that gets introduced, right? And you know, it's funny with Sabbath, there'd be 3 minutes of a song and maybe a short solo, and that's it, right? It's just like 4 guys in a room, very raw, very organic, you know, just playing riffs, and you know, and it just totally mesmerized all of us, right? It just brought us in. And
Yeah.
versus a modern production, and maybe it's the TikTok world we live in, I don't know, where it's like our brains get bored if there isn't something
Yeah.
changing and constantly being introduced.
Yeah.
But you know, Kylie, even records I make, it's the same thing. It's kind of a production style, and I think it plays to, you know, our society that we're in. So, do you guys deal with that when you're making Burning Witches records? This sort of keeping true metal yet having some sort of modern flair?
Well, from the guitar standpoint, me and Romana, we share all the same influences, and we just we love all the same things. So we don't really kind of think that way. The riffs just come out, and you know, my lead work just comes out, and then we sit there, and you know, we're tapping our toes and headbanging along. We know we have something good, so, but we
Yeah.
don't really, you know,
Yeah.
what comes out, and it's all studio. You know, a lot of times we'll trade riffs back and forth, and then she'll put a structure of a song together, and then we're like, okay, we kind of have like a skeleton demo kind of thing for the drummer, but when we go in the studio, by the time we're finished with that track, it is nothing like the skeleton thing, and it's great. I love that kind of studio magic, just being in there, and it's just so organic, and yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that too, because you're in, you know, again, where do you work? I was wondering, do you guys just like do riff, you know, file trading, you know, to get things started, or do you guys get in a room and that's where the writing and the recording happens? Like, what's the process for all that?
Well, I will say thank God for the you know, technology we have now. So yes, it's a lot of sending stems back and forth, or it's a lot of to the phone, which is hilarious.
Yeah, and
Thank God for iPhones.
we are the two people that don't live close to, you know, the headquarters, basically, right? So we don't live in Switzerland. So yeah, we do a lot indeed back and forth, but the rest goes in the rehearsal room. But yeah,
Which is where? It's Switzerland, I guess. Is that where where it happens? Yeah, got it. Okay.
Just talk about the dynamic of the two guitars.
Like I said, we just been friends for years, and we get along so well, and we just have this connection that, you know, I find very rare. You know, after being in and out of bands and stuff since my start of the career, it's like really, really rare to just click with someone that instantly and just rock out. And then it's funny because she'll always say like, "Oh, I'm more of a rhythm player," but it's like I've been pushed, especially on this new record. There's a lot more the back and forth twin guitar attack. So I'm really excited over that, and we're just really proud of it. But I just love riffing and being on stage with her.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you guys won't be doing that soon, obviously, with the visa issue with the states and stuff. So that's a bummer. And I was looking, you know, through the Facebook posts and things like that earlier, and fans were not too happy either. So
never are. I mean, we applied way in advance because everyone's like, "Oh, well, maybe you should have applied earlier." I'm like, "Well, we can't apply for something we don't know what's happening." Like the tour wasn't.
Right.
You get okay, this is happening, apply. But you know, we've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and it just ended. There's nothing else we could do, so we're at the mercy of them arriving. I mean, and I've heard from many bands now they're going through the same thing. So,
and the crazy thing is they'll probably arrive like
of course
that you're supposed to leave. You know, they'll be like they'll just show up in your mailbox. You'll be like,
yeah, Murphy's Law.
So what's next then with not, you know, doing a North American run? What's the next step? I sure probably something's being put in play for Europe now and elsewhere in the world.
Yeah, so we are planning indeed another tour at the end of this year, but I don't think we can share any secrets yet.
Sure, of course. Okay, all right. So good. Look, at least there's more to come, right? So
Yes.
we know that there's more stuff coming out. Good.
Yeah, and we would. I mean, it is already known that we rescheduling this tour now that we would have done in a month or something. We are rescheduling it for March, so around that area, and hopefully there will be more dates than before. So let's see.
Yeah, nice. You guys doing any cruises? You guys in that world at all? Because that stuff, I think you can do probably without visas and stuff, right? Am I right on that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You never know, because with this being rescheduled in March, we did have that Monsters Rock cruise around that time. I think it's in April.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know.
And Ellefson-Soto's on it, so Laura, we can tap you to come up and sing a duet. So there you go.
That would be nice.
Yeah. That would be great. That would be super, super awesome.
Yeah,
So,
I wanted to take a selfie with him because last time he was also on the cruise, on the Monsters of Rock cruise. Yeah, and then we said hi during dinner, and that was it. And then we missed the chance.
Yeah, Jeff is wonderful. I mean, I think he might be a co-owner of Monsters of Rock because he's in like 8 bands on that thing. Right?
Oh, really?
I'm saying we just got out his Ellefson-Soto. Next thing you know, he's doing Soto Beeler. Soto, you know what I mean? People were giving him shit. It's like, Jesus, Jeff, how many bands can you be in on one cruise? So, and this year's actually his 60th birthday, so he's trying to do a nice big blowout. So, yeah, hey, that would be wonderful. Well, we'll put that out to the heavy metal gods.
You can, Laura can get up with you guys, and then David, you can get up with them and do Shot in the Dark because that's what you did it back to the beginning. So
exactly.
There we go.
And then we all end up in Tyson's Rare Hair Jam at the end of the night anyway. So like we did last time, Courtney, right? Yeah. Courtney was running around because they had, I love Tyson, and it's got so many songs and so many different, there's no like one band that stays the same. Like everybody changes for every song, right? So there's always people coming up. And next thing I see Courtney running around, you're in your dress. You're not even like in rock star mode. You're just hanging out casually, like, I want to play. And you're like, give me a guitar. Shit, that one's got a Floyd Rose. Give me a different one. Next thing you know.
The problem was a friend that was traveling with our band camp. He chickened out and didn't want to jam anymore. So and they had to start canceling songs. I'm like, screw it. I may be in like this white striped, linen dress, but let's go. Whatever. I'll save the day.
Okay, you're metal. That's what you do. So yeah, next thing you know, we're out there. We're playing Rothschild or something by Iron Maiden. We're out there shredding, and which you would know, of course, well from. Yeah, hey, I even jammed with the Iron Maidens. I remember it was at NAMM one year. I got up. Were you playing with them at that time?
That was that clock and case modeling thing. Yeah.
God, that's right. That's right. And that was fun. You ladies were great, and it's good to see them continuing on, and supporting all that. So, well, cool. Well, listen, thanks for joining us. This was really great. I was looking forward to talking to both of you, and we'll see how it plays out. Maybe we'll be sailing the high seas on a cruise, and good luck here now with the new record, and obviously more tour dates coming. And Laura, I look forward to. I'll make sure you get a link of the Ellefson-Soto record here when it comes out here in a couple weeks. So yeah, cool.
Thank
you.
Rock on. See ya. Bye.
Yeah.
See ya.